Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever this video finds you, I hope you're having a rad time. I'm the Figure Dude, and on today's Action Figure Showcase, we're going to take a look at part 2 of my NXT Black and Gold collection. Without further ado, let's talk about some figures. Dude. Welcome back. Like I said, we are continuing with the NXT Black and Gold collection, the original, technically not original, the original weekly episodic version of NXT. So today we're going to kick it off with a couple of elites that I added to my collection in the last year or so. I missed out on these the first time through retail, did not like the formula that they use, and I still don't love it, but I've been slowly adding things back to the collection and not doing a lot of fixing up. I used to fix up my figures a lot more, swap parts around, and now because I collect so many different versions of people, I like to just keep it uniform if I can. So we've got Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder, who I always am going to think of them as their NXT names, even though there's nothing crazy easy about their names. They're just kind of names, like normal names, but I can never remember their AEW names. And the Revival put on some absolutely stellar matches. I think my favorite match of theirs is against American Alpha at NXT TakeOver Dallas, which I don't know if this is what the attire was based from, but outside of the really skinny legs that I don't love, I think these are two very good looking figures. Jazzwares, while I did like the proportions a little bit better, I think those head sculpts I think those figures suck. I've seen them on shelves. They're so cheap on ringside, like even the older ones that have been around. And for the most part, these are pretty hard to find. So I think that kind of speaks for itself. I love the boots on these. The head sculpts I think are very nice. It's before True Effects and everything. Who knows if they'll ever make it back to WWE, but these elites I thought were very nice. Next up, we have Mojo, Rawley, and No Way Jose, and both of these were one-offs. No Way Jose might have gotten a basic figure. Mojo Rawley had 2 basics, but these were their only elites. And the No Way Jose, both of these actually are torso swaps. So No Way Jose originally, messing up words here. No Way Jose originally had the same torso as Barry Windham and JBL, which was that kind of tall, like kind of ripped torso. I swapped that out for an Alberto Del Rio torso that was just a little thicker. And then Mojo Rawley had the same kind of torso that No Way Jose currently has. And I didn't like how skinny that was, so I gave him a Stone Cold torso. I thought that was much more fitting, and I think both of these are really nice. They both have the original kind of pinless arms that are single jointed, but like they don't have the pins, and I like these. A lot of people did not. You can see it more with Mojo since he doesn't have the shirt on, but these were both figures I was excited for. They were hard to grab. The No Way Jose was in an NXT wave with, I believe, Austin Aries, Aleister Black, and I can't think of who the third one might have been. Killian Dane. I know there was a couple waves, and all of that NXT line was pretty hard to grab, so I was pretty stoked to get No Way Jose. And then the Mojo Rawley, I think I had to get on the secondary market. He was a Toys R Us exclusive in Fan Takeover line. So the Fan Takeover line, before we just voted on attires, we voted on actual, like, different wrestlers, which is how we got, like, Akira Tozawa. I can't remember who he was in a poll against, Mojo was, but still, I think the head sculpts for these are fantastic. And like I said, I torso swapped them, so I changed them up a little bit, but I think these were very, very well done. Next up, I couldn't even use the rotating stand for these because the ankles absolutely blow on these figures, and there was no chance they were going to stand up. They're hardly standing up right now, but we've got Becky Lynch and Charlotte, and I don't know if these were their first leads. I'm pretty sure this was the first lead for Charlotte, And I know like basics and elites for the women's figures were pretty much the same. So Becky might not, this might have been her first like full on elite. I think it also came with some glasses. I could be wrong there. But I thought these were both pretty decent figures. I thought the soft goods was good for Charlotte. I have the Divas Championship on her. So these are both from WrestleMania 32. And then we've also, so we might as well just get the other two in here so we can get the whole effect. But we've got the NXT TakeOver Brooklyn Bayley. Oh my. It's just hitting the fan right now. So I'm pretty positive, oh man, that all three of these are based on WrestleMania 32. I know that Sasha is, I know that Charlotte is, can't remember Becky. It's crazy. Becky was like kind of an afterthought in that triple threat at Mania. The sculpting with this figure is really nice. Obviously it's a rubber jacket, but they have, this piece is like loose, and they did some sculpting in the shorts, in the boots, or the shoes, like the wrestling shoes are sculpted. So they really did put a lot into it. It's just they've gotten way better with the women's figures, just all their figures in general. I've said multiple times, I'm done trying to stand that up, that Mattel's killing it lately, but these were definitely from like a different era. The Bayley, I would love if we got this in the greatest hits, or one of the redo lines that we got her with the updated joints, like the just everything about it. That's one of my favorite matches of all time, when she fought Sasha Banks at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn for the NXT Championship. One of my favorite matches of all time. I absolutely loved it. Fully invested in Bayley as a character at that point. It was awesome. I loved it, and I would love if they redid this figure, gave us new, updated everything. But there's the 4 horsewomen. Alrighty, next up we have Samoa Joe and Apollo Crews, or when he came into NXT before in the Indies, he was Uhaa Nation. And I was really excited for him, thought he was going to be a big deal, and then he just kind of wasn't. It was fun to watch him, super, super athletic. I don't know, just didn't click, even though I did enjoy what he did. I was really, really hyped to get this figure of him. Can't remember what set. I want, like, Elite 49 is in my head. That could be completely wrong. I know Samoa Joe was an NXT, or not NXT, a GameStop exclusive, specifically based on an NXT attire. I think he came with the NXT Championship and like his white belt, and it was nothing new. It was repainted. I don't think we've ever gotten another Joe in the yellow, so I really like that. His figures, I did have to put Mod Podge in the hip so that it would not just flop around. But outside of that, I really like his figures. I like the arm, like his part choice. The head sculpt I thought was fine. It worked. They have done better. Mattel has. Jazzwares, I go back and forth. I don't know if I love his figures or if I hate them. Just kind of depends on how I look at it. I do like the articulation on Mattel's a little better. It's not great, but I still think it's better. And I've got a bunch of Samoa Joes, but as far as my NXT shelf goes, wanted to get that one on here. And then Apollo, I've got like his updated attire and whatnot on my shelf. So this is my NXT Apollo. Next up is American Alpha, and admittedly in NXT it took me a little bit to warm up to these guys. Jason Jordan, as far as I'd watched, was just a jobber that teamed up with Ty Dillinger, also as a jobber, to make a nice jobber tag team. And then Chad Gable, I thought was so corny with his Ready, Willing, and Gable thing, and then they just started putting on phenomenal matches, and eventually just grew on me. Like I said, with the Revival, they put on an awesome match at NXT TakeOver Dallas. Might have even been 2 out of 3 falls. I don't remember exactly. I know it was really, really good though. These figures I really like. I think they're from TakeOver Dallas. I could be wrong there. But I think both of these were in the Then Now Forever line, Elite line from Walmart. The Jason Jordan is almost exactly the formula I would want for a Julius Creed. I don't think we've seen these shoes on anyone else, and I think that is a huge waste. I think even like Kurt Angle, those would be good for. I know that he kind of has his own mold, but I like these. I like these a lot for wrestling shoes or kind of sneakers. That these are perfect. At least waist down for Julius Creed would be awesome. We got another Jason Jordan in the Elite line and Chad Gable. We've gotten a few Chad Gables, but both of these figures I think are really, really nice, and a couple personal favorites from just the NXT era. Next up are a couple. I know I said, I know that I just said American Alpha are some personal favorites, but I love weird deep cut characters, and I don't know if it gets weirder than this duo here. So we've got Adam Rose and the Bunny. This Bunny figure came in a battle pack with Adam Rose. I did swap the heads, so the head that came on this Elite I did not like. I did not think looked good, and this head came on a basic, which might have been in that battle pack. But Adam Rose was such an odd character. If you watch NXT and knew Leo Kruger, which was his gimmick before Adam Rose, he was like a bounty hunter. Like he reminded me of like Craven the Hunter, kind of, and he was super jacked. And then his main roster gimmick, and he was barely even in NXT, was Adam Rose, and he likes to party. He had his Rosebuds, and then he had a feud on the main roster with the Bunny. Just so weird, so bizarre, but I think this is a really good figure. I think with the different head sculpt on there, it looks really good. Like, I like the big flowy hair. The hat, I'm pretty sure came with that battle pack, or it came with this Elite. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. But both of these together, just, I laugh when I look at these. The Bunny figure is fantastic, and it doesn't move very well. It's single jointed. It's got like Eric Rowan legs, maybe, like basic legs, and it's just like, I don't know how you don't just look at it and laugh. But there's Adam Rose and the Bunny. Alrighty, next up is Shinsuke Nakamura, and I have swapped around and moved parts on his figure so much that I don't even remember what the originals were. He's had a defining moment figure, he's had an ultimate, he's had a bunch of elites. I'm sure there's other like sublines I can't think of. We've gotten a lot of Shinsuke figures. It's been a little overkill as far as what he's gotten compared to like how relevant he's been. We know Bill is a big fan of Shinsuke, and I said in part one, one of my favorite matches of all time is the Sami Zayn Shinsuke Nakamura match, again from TakeOver Dallas. I don't even remember it being that awesome, but I like that whole network special. But that match, that was my first ever time watching Shinsuke, and I was like, holy crap, this guy's awesome. And that was really, like, that was like his best match, in my opinion, in WWE. But here, I think this was, the black attire might have been in the main Elite line. His first couple were in red, but we got a bunch of different jackets with his. Like I said, we've gotten so much of Shinsuke that I've just kind of moved things around to get like my ideal versions of them. So this might have even been like Then Now Forever originally with the black pants, but I can't think of black and gold NXT without thinking of Shinsuke, so I had to get him in here. So we've got one more, and then we'll be on our way out. And lastly for today is... Okay, let's try that again. Last thing we have today is the Elite Cassius Ohno. I'm a little worried about him falling again. If so, we'll just get rid of the rotating stand. But this Elite was an absolute pain trying to track down. It was when they were doing the Elite sets where they had a chase in it, but it was store exclusive. So it could be, I want to say like Elite 74. But the chase was only available at Target. So you had to find that set. It had to be at Target, and then there was only one of them. So you could find this set at Walmart, fresh out of the box, wouldn't be in there. Cassius Ohno was one of them. There's like Pete Dunne was one. Liv Morgan, Sonya Deville. I am so glad they don't do that anymore. It's kind of what Jazzwares is doing now with some of their like 1 in 5,000s, which I absolutely hate. If I get characters that are like deep cuts like this, I want to be able to get them because I know we're never going to get another figure of them. So this figure I think is awesome. They went all out for this probably because they knew they weren't going to make another one. So he's got a the correct boot mold, which I don't know if we've seen these boots on anyone else. He has the legs. I don't even know. I always wondered like who shared those thighs. I don't know who else. Maybe the Walter Elite. And then he's got like a torso, like a Sergeant Slaughter torso, like the singlet torso, which is not a huge deal. It's just under the t-shirt. It says Knockout Artist. He's got the soft goods coat, obviously. But then you can see it says Ono on the back. The Luke Harper arms with the like big but not defined biceps. Swappable hands. The head sculpt looks nice. Just a killer figure, even though it was a killer itself to obtain in the first place. But I would really, really like if Jazzwares gave us an ROH version of Cassius Ohno or Chris Hero. He was in the Indies. I know, like, they just showed us Jerry Lynn and Nigel McGuinness, and I know Cassius Ohno, or Chris Hero, is a part of AEW. He's like one of their producers or whatever he's called there. So that would be really cool to get another version of him, because I think we've gotten this and then like the Figures Toy Company figure, and those are the less said the better. But that is going to be it for part 2 today. So love to know what your guys' thoughts are as far as some of these go. I think I raved quite a bit about some of these. And again, I think it might just be nostalgia clouding my judgment, but I love this period of WWE. Kind of got me back into really watching like regularly, especially the NXT Network specials. But we've got a couple more, probably a part 3 and 4 coming, and then we've got some other stuff I'd like to get to. So if you made it all the way to the end of the video, thank you very much. Please continue to like, share, subscribe. I always appreciate that. And remember, you can't buy happiness, but you can buy more action figures. Figure Dude